We're talking about Win Your Claim Wednesday on today's podcast episode with the Batman, Batcave himself. Chris, you're here somewhere. We can't see you. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm right here. How you doing,
Oh, there you
everyone?
are.
I love your Win Your Claim Wednesday,
Yes.
the
Win Your,
victory,
dude,
victory Wednesday.
Win Your Claim Wednesday is fun because we get to talk about all the culmination of all the work we do. Most people would go insane if they realize how much work we put in, how many phone calls, consultation calls, adjuster calls, meetings, and just you and I when we do our claims updates, just everything that goes into that, right? And really
Mhm.
strategizing about how we can win the claim. And we want
Absolutely.
to help people win their claim because ultimately it helps them. And I think you and I have a servant's heart where we really want to help people. And then by doing that, we also get paid because our interests are directly aligned with the
Mhm.
insureds and usually with the contractor that is working with the insured. So, Chris, I know you got something amazing in your bag today, my friend. Tell us
Yes.
more, and I'll chime in because you really, I give you all of the credit for this victory. Was I involved probably like 20% versus the 80% of the work that you did? So I'll let you share and then chime in
Yeah,
when necessary.
absolutely. And again, this is why we love doing what we do. And like Taylor mentioned as well, a lot of people, what they don't see goes on in the back end, the strategy,
Right,
because it's not just a one size fits all type of situation to where
right.
we're going to be little robots. Like, well, they hire their own little robots, but we're going to be little robots and just send in little things. Here we go.
Yeah.
And never get any results. So this one,
Dude, I like that you said that. Let me just chime in here is we are dynamic, meaning something comes in, we don't just like auto reply like thanks for your message. We'll get back to you in five to
yeah,
seven business days. No, we take in the message and we're like, okay, how can we best win your claim for the client and how do we best move forward? So you dealt with that specifically related to some ordinance and law stuff. So why don't you tell us about that?
absolutely. So we were working on a claim. And before I get into the numbers, I'll share all the numbers at the very end. But, we took this claim over and we got it increased, decent amount. We kept getting increased, but we
Right.
just still didn't get this final piece that we really, really needed because it was going to cost obviously a lot of money, which was actually, go ahead, Taylor.
And the insurance company doesn't want to pay claims. And when it costs them
Yes.
more money to actually make the insured whole, that's why the insured hires us because the insurance company's like, wait a second, we're not going to pay for that because that's a large line item or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And so you bring up a
Yeah,
really good
absolutely.
point, which then what do we do next?
Yeah, and basically this one just came down to code as well and making sure that the insured had a roof that was going to be brought up to code, but also that was going to sustain long term. And so a lot of jurisdictions have different requirements. And this particular one basically requires that the sheathen, the actual gaps between the wood, the
Yeah, and the
plywood for the
decking.
sheathen,
Yeah.
yep, the decking can't be more than, I believe it was like a quarter of an inch. And
Okay.
so
Right.
we had multiple photos. We were up there,
Hmm.
everything. And everything showed that, this is a little bit older. So yes, it was some of them were up to like an inch even, believe it or not.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were fighting that. And here's where it gets a little tricky
So
because
what did the insurance company initially say about the spaced decking?
yeah, they just said we're not responsible for that at first.
What? Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. We know we hear that a lot. So
Yep.
how did we win your claim, my brother?
Yeah. So two steps. One is getting them to acknowledge it's got to be brought up to code. So once we got to that point, then they took it upon themselves to reach out to the jurisdiction. They spoke to the building official, and the building official said, "Nah, you're good to go." And I'm like, "This does not make any sense whatsoever." And I'm like, "Who did you speak to?" And they told me the jurisdiction. I'm like, "This is the wrong jurisdiction you're talking to."
Aha.
And they're like, "What?" And I said, "Listen, we can get on the phone right now with the building official because I've dealt with this building official before.
Right.
He's never going to allow this."
Yeah.
And we actually got into an email chain and, came down to it that, ordinance and law, the jurisdiction would not allow the method of repair that the insurance company was recommended. And
Right.
so we got that last piece taken care of.
So I want to make this very clear for everybody that's listening, for all of you in the back, right? The insurance company came back and said, no, we're not going to pay for that. And what Chris did And what our job is, instead of being like, well, yeah, I guess if the jurisdiction is not going to enforce code, he very specifically said, which building official did you speak with? And then he realized, because we do this a lot and we know a lot of building officials across
Mm-hmm.
these counties because we've talked to them before
Mm-hmm.
and we run into this quite often. And so Chris knew that the local city municipality
Mm-hmm.
was not the right jurisdiction to speak with.
Correct.
It was actually the county jurisdiction that
Correct.
was responsible for this specific property based on the location. And also we call it like layering, right? So city, county, if there's
Mm-hmm.
anything between that, and then state, right? Like if there's a regional authority, whatever that might
Mm-hmm.
be. But Chris knew that, hey, look, you're talking to the city and they're not the ones responsible. Let's
Correct.
call this guy that I know from the county because I absolutely know that he's not going to agree to what you guys are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Good try. And then ultimately, when you guys had that conversation, did you get on a three-way call? Did you email? What was it?
It was literally that same day. It was a three-way email between the adjuster and the building official,
Oh, nice.
and we got the response back right away that we needed. And then
Yeah.
literally the next day, we've got the approval on the estimate for what we're going after for
That's
this year.
amazing.
So,
So, this, my friends, if you're watching this and you're a contractor or you're an insured, you're a
mhm,
property manager, you're a risk manager, just know you will hear stuff from the insurance company that may or may not be correct. And you need someone like us fighting on your behalf, fighting for the insured and getting what the insured actually is owed and working through that with the adjuster, right? Because the adjuster was then informed by Chris, hey, I think that's the wrong jurisdiction. Let's get on this three-way email chain and make sure what we're being told is the same thing that they're telling you. If it's not, then we need to go back to the drawing board. And so ultimately, like Chris said, the next day, we got the approval because we were able to
mhm.
bring everybody together and make sure we're communicating properly. And that is our job as your public insurance adjuster to help you win your claim. So, Chris, tell us about the numbers, my brother.
Yeah, so the numbers started out before we got involved. The insurance company opened coverage. They opened coverage at 115,893,
Okay.
and we kept getting increases, like I said, to that final end where we just needed them to approve those last items of the sheathen.
Yeah.
Once that was done and over with, the final estimate came out to be $523,830,
Dang.
which is an increase of 351%.
Boom,
So
baby. You got to love that. You got to
yeah.
love that. Win Your Claim Wednesday is my favorite day because we get to talk
Mhm.
about these huge victories. Yes, we win, but really who wins is the insured because
The
they are
insured.
now being able to, I'm assuming based on everything that we know,
Mhm.
is get back to pre-loss condition in a way that doesn't put them out. Because just like Chris said, the insurance company said, we don't owe for it.
Mhm.
Okay. Most people are just like, okay. I think most insured are just like, well, my adjuster said they don't owe for it. I guess they're right. But are they? Is the insurance company
Mhm.
actually right when they're telling you certain things? From our experience, Chris and I, we've been doing this a long time. Our experience says no. The insurance adjuster is usually like some low line level adjuster, unless you're dealing with a large loss guy that's been at the job for
Mhm.
like 20 years. But usually you're just dealing with somebody that may have been there for 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 9 months. What we're seeing most of the time now in call centers and or frontline low-level adjusters, they may be there 3 to 6 months, maybe. The turnover
Mhm.
is ridiculous. So don't take no from someone that doesn't have the authority to tell you yes. And that's how Chris and I train. Like, dude, why are we taking a no from this person that doesn't have the authority to tell us yes?
Mhm.
And that's all we do every single day is we work to win your claim by doing all the things that we know from over a decade of experience and all of the things that we're tying and pulling in together. So again, I'm going to tease this. We're offering a new program. It's going to be a subscription model for contractors, insureds, property managers, anyone that's on the insured or insurance side, not the carrier side, to help with these claims because we want to help you win your claim. Ultimately, that's it. We win when you win, and that's what we want. So, Chris, final word, my brother.
Yeah, again, I'm glad you put the teaser out there. I'm excited for it too.
Yeah.
We've been doing a ton of work on the back end. I think this is going to be
Yeah,
beneficial for a lot of people. And
for sure.
you know, at the end of the day, I love Wednesdays because we got to talk about our victories because we deal with so much of just the beat downs the nose
Yeah,
where we just become immune to it
right.
because hey, we know they're gonna say no, so
Yeah,
we're immune to it. So that's why we
dude.
love when we get them to say yes.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Most humans hate rejection. We're just so used to it, we don't even care.
Hmm. Yeah.
So if that's any solace, but contact us today, winyourclaim.com. Let us help you with your insurance claim.